Hey cruisers, happy Sunday. Welcome to Cruise Tips TV. I hope you're all doing fabulously well. Welcome to our cruise Q&A. We would love to invite you to type your cruise questions in the chat if you are watching this live. If you're watching on replay, you can ask questions, but we can't guarantee that we can get to them, but we will certainly do our best. Special thanks to our Patreon community who is here with us in the chat today. If you are a member of our Patreon community, please type crew in the chat if you'd like to join our Patreon community for an exclusive monthly Zoom call with me. Go to patreon.com/cruise tips TV. We got it working. Sorry for the tech delays, you guys. We just couldn't see our stream for some reason. We're having struggles. Mr. Cruise Tips TV just went for it anyway, and it looks like it worked. It looks like we are live. Oh my goodness, Bruce Cruz coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Bruce, for the precious little super sticker. Appreciate you so much. So awesome to have everyone here. We've got a really nice group this morning. I already see some questions coming into the chat. I see one from the Faceless Nerd about cruise excursions. I saw a question come in earlier, Mr. Cruise Tips TV, as well from Mary Lynn Wilson about MSC Cruises. I'm going to address Mary Lynn's question right now. Mary Lynn says, "Hi Sherry, what can you tell me about MSC Cruises? On paper, they look cheaper, but the reviews are so mixed compared to mainstream lines. What are your pros and cons?" Okay, so Mary Lynn Wilson, we have been on 2 MSC Cruises. It's been a few years. I haven't been on since the restart. I've been on MSC Seaside and MSC Meraviglia, Seaside to the Caribbean, Meraviglia in the Yacht Club to Europe. I will tell you that the Meraviglia Yacht Club experience was one of our favorite cruises of all time. The Yacht Club product is a superior ship within a ship product. If you can afford it or find a deal on it, get into the Yacht Club on any MSC ship, and I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. It's phenomenal. With that said, MSC is a European cruise line. Things are going to feel different. The food is going to be different. And the passenger mix is also different. Also, the way that they do things, the way that you reserve your cabin, the drink packages, the way you reserve things is just different. It's not as simple as cruising with like Carnival, where you have one drink package and, right, everything is super simple and easy and the way we know it. So you just have to kind of get used to the fact that it's a different experience, but I do think it's worth trying. We really like MSC. Personally, I prefer cruising in the Yacht Club with MSC or purchasing the Aria experience, which is spelled A-U-R-E-A, where you get some spa access, you get a better cabin. That is just the way to go if you can do it. Big hugs and thank you to all of our Backstage Crew members who have said hello in the chat. I do want to give them a shout out really quickly. The first one that I saw this morning come in and say that they were from our Backstage Crew was Sheldon. Hi, Sheldon. Welcome. Happy Sunday. I also saw Yuki. I saw Solo Cruising. Mike and Cheryl are here. Cheryl, separately from Mike and Cheryl. Mary Ellen Dillon is here. Jim Schellenberger is here. Bruce Cruz is in the house. Linnea is here. I see some great questions coming in too. We're going to get to those. Sheldon, I think I saw you. Yes, I did. Did I miss any of our Backstage Crew? Just so you guys know, Mr. Cruise Tips TV cannot see the chat, you guys. So he can't respond to anything. He can kind of see it, but he can't type into it. You can grab questions for me or no? You can't. Okay. So he's just having a little tech issue over there. So I'm sorry. If he's not typing hello to you, don't take offense. He just can't get in there. Seth, he sees you. I tell you right now, he sees you, Seth. All right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any of our Patreon members. I think I got everybody. Okay, cool. We're going to jump into those questions and see if we can't help you. I want to make sure that I got the earlier question about the shore excursions. The Faceless Nerd said, "It will be my first time as a solo cruiser. I want to stay safe on excursions. Should I just do the cruise offered ones or book them through the company, get a cab, help?" Such a good question. We made a YouTube video about booking cruise excursions and all the different ways to ensure that you stay safe just about a week ago, and I've just put it into the chat, so I want you to check that out. If it is your first time on a cruise, period, or your first time as a solo cruiser, yeah, I would go ahead and book your excursions, Faceless Nerd, through the cruise line just this once and see how you like it, okay? See how it feels, and then if you want to kind of get a little bit more bold later on and book on your own, you could do that. You're going to be safe, I'm sure, outside of the cruise line, but I think that's probably a good thing to do. Becky Hopper said, going to Punta Arenas, Costa Rica in a few weeks. What's the must do for the sport? I haven't been to that stop in Costa Rica, Becky. I've only been to Limon, and in Limon, the Tortuguero Canal is great. There's a lot of different things to see, but I've not been to Punta Arenas, so we're going to have to wait and see if anybody has been there and they can comment on that. I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for you. Let's see here. Angela Fouts, you're a newbie. Hello, Angela. Where should you book your cabin? You're looking at a back aft balcony cabin. That's great. I personally love aft balcony cabins. You will have longer to walk to get to things like the dining room, the atrium, stuff like that. But aft, there are other things that are generally aft, like the pool, the buffet are usually sort of on the aft of the ship. Just plan to walk a little bit more and know that there may be more vibration on the back of the ship if you're actually facing aft. There may also be some ash that comes down on your balcony from the smokestacks. Otherwise, it's a wonderful experience and you got the best views. Angie K said, we're thinking about going on a Caribbean cruise, but we've never been and I don't know what ports I want. Help. Oh, Angie, your first one. Okay. Personally, I like the Eastern Caribbean the best, and I think most new cruisers do the Western Caribbean first just because it's the most popular one. So they end up doing Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel almost always on that first cruise. It's like the classic Carnival cruise, first cruise for people. And that's great, but those ports are a little more crowded. They're a little bit, I don't know what the word is. They're just not as, I don't know, they're great, but I think there's more to see in the Eastern Caribbean. So if I were you, Angie, I'd start with Eastern Caribbean. Just know that it gets really super hot in the summer months. Like anything after May, plan on getting really, really, really warm. So you might want to do like November, honestly, through March, I think are kind of lovely for the weather. Don Emery said, I need suggestions for packing for Bermuda, temps in 60s. 7 days. Ooh, that's a good question. So Dawn, what I would do too, depending on your ship, is maybe plan on doing some laundry on the ship so that you can rewear things and not have to like be as concerned about packing too much. But I think I would stick, if it's going to be in the 60s in Bermuda, I would probably stick with things like jeans and layers, almost like you're going to Alaska. A lightweight rain layer might be a good idea. Some hoodies might be a good idea for dinners. Maybe some like long sleeve or short sleeve dress shirts to pair with some nice chino style pants and things like that. Some nice comfortable shoes for walking around both in Bermuda and on the ship. Things like that should be good for you. Banya Altman said, what are the rules on disembarking in an overnight port? We're staying 2 days in Kobe, want to visit Kyoto on the second day, but you want to be there. I don't know, Bonya, because it's going to depend on the ship. So depending on if they're going to allow you to debark and stay overnight, you need to check, Bonya, with the cruise line on that because they're all different. Like doing that in Cozumel versus doing that in Japan could be very different. So check with your cruise line. Mitch Hectus said, is there a cruise line that I don't know if Mitch is asking that question or answering it. Mitch, Norwegian Cruise Line sort of has solo cabins. Well, they do have solo cabins, but they sort of have a specialty towards solos because they have the single cabins, and they also have the very purposeful gathering for singles and solos on their cruise line. They have and some of the ships, they actually have like an activity director who helps get you together with other ones. So that could be a good approach. Mama Bear, going on a cruise in September, do they have wheelchair assistance to help you get on the ship? Sometimes they do. It depends on the port, the cruise line, and the sailing, but usually they do. You want to ask right when you arrive or email their special needs department in advance. Peggy said, what do you think is a good daily rate to pay for a cruise? What would be a good deal for a 10-day cruise? I seem to do better with prices when they're broken down to a daily rate. Personally, I think $100 a day per person is a good deal. If you're, if that's 200 times 7, that's $2,400. That's a really good, wait, no, I didn't do that right. 200 times 7 is $1,400. That's actually really inexpensive, isn't it? Yeah, so that would be a really inexpensive cruise for 2 people. I'm doing the math here. Yeah, $100 a day would be an incredible deal. So if you were getting like a balcony for $100 a day, that would be amazing because that would be for 2 people that would be $1,400. That's extremely inexpensive. So if you think about it, even $200 a day, which is $2,800 for a week, is still an incredibly good deal, right? So if that helps you, I think between 1 and 200 is an incredibly good deal. Anything in that range. Anything less is probably a steal. Serendipity Moment said, Baltic cruise in June, always best to book shore excursions through the cruise line. So many are already sold out. How safe is it to book through third party? Okay, for the Baltic, I think it's probably very safe to book through the cruise line. I don't think you're going to be going to Russia right now, so you probably don't need to worry about the visa issue. Usually with Russia stops, there's a visa involved for the Baltic, but no, I think you're safe to do that. Just follow the instructions that we lay out in this video. I'm going to put this in the chat. Follow the ShoreX guide rules for self-booking, because this is what you want to do. If you self-book, you need to get something in writing. You need to make sure that they offer refunds if your port call is canceled, and those things are really important. So check out our shore excursion video. It's really going to help you out. I've just put it in the chat. Supola, question, thoughts on ocean kayaking in Juneau in July? I think it would be absolutely beautiful. I've always wanted to do it. Canoeing or kayaking, Susan, I think would be wonderful. Just make sure you follow the instructions on what to wear. They're probably going to recommend some waterproof clothing, or they may provide you with waterproof clothing. Bill Bayango said, I see a lot on YouTube about capsule pod hotel rooms. What are they? Are they worth it? And what are your thoughts? Yeah, I see a lot about those too. So capsule or pod hotel rooms are basically, if you think about, like, have you guys ever seen an RV that has like multiple sleeping holes in it? Like you have little pods. A capsule hotel is meant to just be like a little sleeping room where you might go and sleep just for a night. It's not even a hotel room. It's just basically a sleeping room, like almost like a sleeping car on a train, only even smaller than that. My thoughts are that they serve a purpose sometimes when you're maybe in transit somewhere or you're traveling alone. Probably a really hard thing to do if you're traveling as a family, but interesting for sure. I'd love to try one sometime. Samara Torres said, good recent feedback on Norwegian, going on the Epic in a couple weeks and I'm already regretting it. I like fixed dining and having the same waiter. You could probably get them, Samara, to somehow make it fixed dining for you. Norwegian, you know, the freestyle dining isn't for everyone. The freestyle cruising isn't for everyone, but people who love Norwegian love Norwegian. Just go into it with a really open mind, Samara. You should be okay. Lisa Blood said, how is it with COVID on a cruise ship? I want to go in April, but nervous. Well, Lisa, cruising is pretty much back to normal. The thing is, people are still absolutely getting COVID and getting other illnesses on cruise ships just like before. If you're cruising during flu season or, you know, cold season, especially December through March, there's going to be illness. It's going to happen. The COVID protocols, though, are pretty much completely gone unless you're cruising in Australia or you're going to Japan or something like that. There's really not that much left, Lisa. I wouldn't be nervous at all, but you do need to understand that there's no more COVID testing. And we've found that now that there's no more COVID testing, a lot more people are cruising sick and getting sick on cruises, just like they used to. Nothing has really changed. But honestly, I think avoiding, if you're really nervous about it, I would not cruise during flu season. I would not cruise during December through March. Go during the summer months. You might still get sick, but your chances of getting sick, honest to goodness, are much higher in those winter months. They just are. Angela Fouts, grandson, 10 years old, cruising with you. He has sensory needs with foods, only drinks chocolate milk. Can we bring Yoo-hoos on the carry-on? You should be able to bring Yoo-hoos in your carry-on, Angela. And if you need to get a note from your doctor to show proof, that's good. Just know that certain cruise lines don't allow any beverages. I think Norwegian's one of them, so just be aware of that. Lisa Blood, favorite cruise line for adults? It depends on what you want to accomplish. Like some people would say, oh, Virgin Voyages because there's no children, right? But for some people that is not a very traditional cruising experience and they're not interested. So if you want to cruise where there aren't as many children, I would probably choose Celebrity Holland America or Princess, and any cruise line not during school break. So avoid summer, avoid spring break, right? Avoid Christmas break. Carol Vosberg said, retiring in June, 15-day Hawaiian cruise booked out of LA. Any tips for this length of cruise or Hawaii in general? Carol, I always tell people for these 15-night cruises, absolutely plan on doing laundry and take some good books with you. Plan to read books. That would be my advice. Sheldon said, any tips on bidding from an interior to a mini suite? How much do you start with? How much is it worth to you, Sheldon? That sounds like an expensive bid. If you're doing it on Princess, I mean, I don't know, because I'd have to look at your booking to really get a general idea. I think you have to think about what you can afford and how much it's worth it to you and come in a little bit under that. If you really want that mini suite, go a little higher than you think you need to get the cabin. Jolene Newberger, cruising to Mexico in October, what ideas do I have for Ensenada? The blowhole, which is called La Bufadora, wine tasting, kayaking, ATVs, all of those things are fun. You could just walk around downtown. That's not really my jam, but the blowhole is kind of fun to do once. Yuki Okama said, any tips for minimalist backpack packing to the Caribbean for 6 days? Yes, avoid packing white clothing that may stain easily because you might need to rewear. Thin gauze-like and cotton-like materials that you can roll into a backpack or a suitcase would probably be great, and plan on doing laundry, Yuki. Angie said, another thing we're trying to decide is which cruise line to cruise in the Caribbean since they already have so many more lines and ships than we have on the West Coast, so many options. For you, Angie, for you and your husband, I would actually suggest for the Caribbean one of the newer Princess ships or Celebrity. Celebrity has a really good presence in the Caribbean for you. Larry Doc said, I'd like to do a solo Caribbean cruise this November, not seeing any reasonable rates for solos. Do you recommend any reasonable cruise lines? I recommend, Larry, using a travel agent to help you find a good solo cruise deal. That's what you need. More than just a particular cruise line, you need a good travel agent to help you out. Good question, Larry. I like that. You're welcome, Carol. Danny D. Hi, Danny. Going on Odyssey of the Seas in a month. Any tips for packing? Odyssey of the Seas. Where are you going, Danny? Is that Alaska? You need to give me a little more information about where you're going, okay, bud? Okay. Victor said, I keep getting sick after a cruise or a trip. Believe me, I've been sick a million times before, after, or during a cruise. So you are not alone, my friend. It just happens. Any travel for us, to be honest, is risky. Yeah. Meaning I've gotten sick just as many times on an airplane, for sure, if not more than a cruise ship. Oh, Angela Fouts said, I see on Carnival about rubber ducks. What is up? Okay, cruise ducks. Let's talk about cruise ducks for a moment. Cruise ducks are a very fun tradition. If you are interested in this, there are lots of videos and articles out there. Just type in cruise ducks and you will find a full outline of what they're all about. But in essence, cruise ducks are you, as a cruise traveler, buy some ducks off of like Amazon.com or whatever, little rubber duckies, and you make labels or tags to put on them that talk about who you are, a little message to the winner. You tell them that they can keep it or they can re-hide it. When you're on the ship, you hide the duck for other cruisers to find, and when they find it, they can actually go and post about it on social media and tag you or whatever, or they cannot do that too. It just depends. It's a really fun little tradition. Just go ahead and check it out. Google it and you'll see. Michael said, will repackaging my vitamin and fiber supplements and bringing them on a cruise, unlabeled, unsealed, be a problem? How do I pack light, avoid security hassles? No problem, Michael. Even prescription medications can be taken out of their original bottles. It's no problem at all. You're not going to run into issues with the cruise line themselves. If you live in a country where the airlines or your airport may have a security issue with that, then that's another consideration, but you should be okay. Should be okay. Yeah, I get it, Angie. Angie, I think for you guys, a newer Princess ship for the Caribbean will probably be a good choice. But I can totally see you guys digging Celebrity too. I really can. I really can. I think, and there's just so many options too, and so many new ships. They're the bee's knees, Seth. Yes. You're welcome, Jolene. Okay, did I miss anybody's questions? Ooh, we really powered through a lot of questions there, didn't we, guys? That was pretty intense. Keep them coming. Ooh, I have some updates for you guys. Let me think about this. So you know about our most recent video that we put out, right? Everyone saw the shore excursions video, but did you also see the cruise versus all-inclusive debate video? Now that's a fun one. So I want to share that with you guys. If you haven't seen this one yet, go watch this cruise versus all-inclusive video. This is fun. We pit them against each other and see, if we can create a little clarity if you're trying to choose between a cruise line or a cruise ship and an all-inclusive resort. Check that one out. That's a little update for you. Also, after today's live stream, we're going to be on Amazon Live, and we're actually not going to do a cooking show. We had planned to, but there were so many good travel items that came up on deal that I decided not to go into the kitchen this time and to start our live stream with all travel items. So if you're kind of wondering what deals there are on Amazon today for travelers, you can either come over live or you can shop this anytime. I've just put the link in. I will also pin that one to the top so everybody can see it. Okay, let's see what other questions we have coming in. For sure, I see some more coming in. No worries, Danny. Oh, how beautiful. Odyssey of the Seas is a transatlantic for 14 nights coming up soon here, right? Okay, so you're going to be like springtime. For packing for that, I would take a few resort wear type items like shorts and swimsuits and stuff like that because you have so much time on the ship. But I would also just focus again, like the advice I gave earlier to the gentleman who was going to be doing the cruise with Bermuda in the 60s, same thing. Lots of jeans, lots of walking shoes, lots of layers and things like that, Danny, would probably be recommended. And then depending on if you're extending your cruise in the US or over in Europe, you might need clothing for those 2 stays as well. Amy Leonard said, is there a website that lists all groups on a cruise? I tried Googling ship name and date, but no group stuff came up. Okay, Amy, I can tell you how you do that. You actually, if you watch our video, we actually show you how to do that in our most recent video about shore excursions, because you can find your groups. But what you do, let me explain it to you. What you do is you go onto Facebook, and you select groups, so Facebook groups, and then you type in your ship name and sailing date. So you would type in Wonder of the Seas, January, or whatever month, and then they'll all start to come up, and then you pick from there. If you want to go to Cruise Critic, you would go to the roll calls. So Cruise Critic, roll calls, cruise line, then your ship, then your date, okay? So hopefully that helps you, Amy. There isn't a way to Google it. Jack Janig said, what do you think about the day beds on Coco Key? I think they're a waste of money, personally, because there's so much other seating there that you can get for free, personally. Shannon H. said, hello, everyone. What's the best park and stay hotel for New Orleans? I'm not sure, Shannon. Let's see if we can get the group to answer. Wow, Recon 1A, you're finally cruising on Panorama. Yay. Yeah, Mexican Riviera excursions, I would recommend Wild Canyon Park Pass for Cabo. That's fun. Or just a day at Medano Beach by water taxi. In Puerto Vallarta, resort for a day at Hyatt Ziva or now Amber. And in Mazatlan, I would take like a little guided tour or go to Stone Island for the day. Stuart Atkinson said, do a cruise April 1 with stops in St. Martin and St. Thomas. Do we have any cruising? Wait, I don't. Do a cruise, it stops in St. Thomas and St. Martin. Do we have to show proof of vaccination? No, you do not have to show proof of vaccination in St. Thomas or St. Martin, Stuart. No. Yuki Okami said, looking for compact multi-use travel items for cruising. Any tips? Compact multi-use travel items for cruising. I'm trying to think of specifically what you might mean, like a foldable cup or a water bottle. I'd have to think about that, Yuki. Of course, you can always check out our cruise store and see if there's anything in there that speaks to you. But off the top of my head, I'm not really thinking of any compact multi-use items. I'll think about it though. Cameo said, just wanted to thank you for all the great advice. Helpful and made my first cruise wonderful. Yay, Cameo. Thank you. Kim, taking a 9-day Trans-Pacific on May 2nd, Hawaii to Canada. Anyone know what kind of weather to expect at sea once you leave Hawaii? Ooh, I would plan for a little bit of rockiness for sure, and maybe book a little bit more low and center on that ship. Mama Bear, is a mid-ship interior room a good part of the ship? Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a budget area, right? A balcony is better in Alaska if you can afford it, but I've been on many cruises to Alaska where I couldn't afford a balcony and did an interior, and it was fine. Just know where the exits are to the outdoor deck so you can get out there quickly. Kristen needs suggestions for what to do in Aruba after 4 p.m. Does anybody have any ideas for Kristen? If you do, type them in the chat. Wow, you guys have some incredible questions today. So many of them coming in. I'm amazed. I love this. Anne Marie, you were on Beyond in January. Same ship, same time. Do I feel they were cutting back on everything? No, I wasn't on Celebrity Beyond, Anne Marie. I haven't been on Celebrity yet. Maybe that was somebody else. Diana Roletta said, question about airport transfer to the hotel before the ship departure. Does the transport wait for multiple flights to land and then transfer? Yeah, sometimes they do, Diana, but it depends on what cruise line and what type of transfer. If it's a bus, they're going to wait. If it's a smaller van, probably they're combining you with other people, but you won't be waiting as long. Lauren said, if you're next to really loud guests, is that something you could politely bring to guest services? Yes, you can do that. They can try to move you and they may offer to move you. If the ship is fully booked, they may not, but they may offer you a little onboard credit. They may also ask your neighbors to be quiet. Heather Jones, 75, going on an Alaska cruise in May, Carnival Spirit, you're going to try carry-on only. Watch the video. Any new tips for Alaska in May? I love Alaska in May. It's so sunny and it's so beautiful. Make sure that you leave room in your bag for some travel size binoculars. Heather, these are absolutely essential. You can get them in our Amazon store, in our Alaska cruise packing area. Let me see if I can get this for you, Heather. Yeah, that would be one tip for you. Okay, now here's the other thing, Heather. If you're really going to do this, if you're really going to do carry-on only for Alaska, there's a couple things you need. One, very minimal shoes. You need to stick with some shoes that are going to be moisture proof, like these great Columbia shoes that we have in our Amazon store. They're not going to get water in them if you step in a puddle, right? And you need, so minimal shoes. Don't pack a lot of shoes, 1 or 2 pairs for daytime, 1 or 2 pairs for evening. You also can benefit from compression bags. You can take the air out of these bags and compress your stuff and get a lot more in them. And we are actually going to be featuring those compression bags in our Amazon Live after the show today if you want to see them in action. So I hope that helps you, Heather. I know, Sheldon, weather, seriously, California weather has been insane. It's raining here again. I can't even believe it. Wow, Ryan, going to Iceland and Greenland in July, should you just follow the Alaska packing guide? Yes, Ryan, the Alaska packing guide is probably going to be perfect. The Alaska packing do's and don'ts will be good. Another one that might be good is our Pack With Me for a Mediterranean cruise. That one might be good. Let me see if I can get the Alaska packing do's and don'ts into the chat for you. Coming right up here, Ryan. The Alaska packing do's and don'ts is coming in for Ryan. There we go, Ryan. There's your packing do's and don'ts. And then if you go to our YouTube channel and you type in, well, let me just find it for you. Let me see if I can find it. Europe packing. The Europe packing video would probably be really good too. I think I actually typed it in as Mediterranean. Yeah, I found it. Okay. What to pack for a European cruise. This is another really good one that I would probably use, Ryan. Because I don't know what your weather is going to be like over there, specifically at that time of year. You're welcome, Ryan. Mike and Cheryl said, question, quarterly, any news on Sun Princess? The only news on Sun Princess is that I got invited to the shipyard in Italy and couldn't go. It was last week, and I had a executive meeting I had to attend. So that's the only news I have for you at this moment. Sorry, that's a little selfish, but I'll keep you posted. Farron said, question, what time in Juneau does all the shops start to close? Oh, generally speaking, 4 or 5 p.m., but if the ships are in port late, like they're going to stay until 9 or 10 p.m., they'll stay open late for you. Laurel Gurley said, Carnival no longer tolerates guests playing music, etc. in common areas, balconies. That's great. Jolene said, do compression bags leave your clothes wrinkled? Sometimes if you overpack them, they can leave your clothes a little bit wrinkled, yes. A little bit. a little bit wrinkled, but rolling them helps. Just not overstuffing them is really the key with compression bags. And also packing non-wrinkly fabrics and things. Thank you so much, Vicky. I appreciate it. I know, Jim, work gets in the way of fun. Hi, Jessica. Jessica said, miss you guys. Any tips on Disney cruises? I haven't been on a Disney cruise, but you know who does a really good job of covering Disney? Griff and Alyssa at Trapped in Paradise. They do a great job. Follow them over on TikTok. They have really fun content. You're welcome, Farron. I know. Thanks, Cheryl. I was bummed too, but that's okay. Next time. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up and head over to our Amazon travel shopping after party. I do invite all of you to join us over there. It is going to be a lot of fun, and we are going to start with travel supplies for your cruise. We've got a lot of deals on travel supplies this particular Sunday. I'm surprised at how many nice little deals there are. Let me tell you what some of the items are that there are deals on. One of them is actually this bag right here is on deal. I'm going to be sharing that today. Another item that's on deal are these Hey Dude deck shoes. These water bottles are on deal. I have so many different travel things that are on deal. Let me see if I can get you guys the link one more time before we head over to Amazon. And I invite you guys to come over. We are not doing a cooking show today, like I mentioned, because I had a change of heart when I saw all the travel deals that came on. I was like, you know, this just isn't a cooking day. This is a travel day. So come check it out. Hi, Chica. You're welcome. Bye, Angie. Have a good one. Shannon, Steve, you guys take good care of yourselves. You're welcome, Jolene. Okay, guys. Wrapping up. DM me on social media. Particularly effective is Instagram or Facebook. If I didn't get to your question today, I'd be more than happy to help you. Jolene, you're so welcome. Heather, you are so welcome. And go have a good Sunday, guys. We're going to see you in a bit on Amazon Live. Until next time, see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.
Cruise around the week.
Hey, click me to subscribe.